solo home run in the bottom of the 11th for a 2-1 win. But Buck and the Birds have a knack for bouncing back, and they look to do so tonight with Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound as Ubaldo faces his old teammates. And the Birds are looking to even things up in the series. It's game 2, the middle game of 3. O's and Indians on Massey. It's the Orioles on Masson tonight from Progressive Field in Cleveland. It's the Orioles and the Indians in the middle game of this 3-game weekend series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter, and for the Orioles, it's bounce-back night. After dropping that tough 2-1 loss in 11 innings last night, Birds looking to get even in the series and then hope to come back tomorrow and win it. Now, they will hand the baseball to Ubaldo Jimenez, who is looking to win in back-to-back starts for only the second time this year. And it's been one of those years for Ubaldo. When he has pitched well, he has won. When he has pitched poorly, he has lost. And even in games he has pitched well, sometimes he has not won. And the storyline is all in the run support. In his 4 wins, the Orioles have given him 7.43 runs of support to go with a tremendous ERA. In the 8 losses, he has not pitched well. 8.01 ERA, but look at that anemic run support. So the storyline for his season has been in the no decisions. A 3.18 ERA, 2.95 run support average. And Jim Palmer, sometimes when you go to the mound, and you certainly know about all this, if they score for you, hey, maybe you're going to relax. And if they don't score for you, maybe you're going to press.
Well, I think if we look at the whole year, he signs for $50 million. A lot of money. Wanted 4 years instead of 3, so he gets it. Doesn't do as much throwing in the offseason because he really didn't know what he was going to do or where he was going to sign. Starts off 0-4 in April. He gives up 19 runs in about 27 innings. So now you're 0-4. It's hard to erase that. A little more grip pressure. And then the fact that, yes, there's 59 pitchers that qualify. 55 of them get more run support. So he's right down the bottom of the list. But at the end of the day, he did pitch well in his last start. And the other part is the longer you can pitch, and this is where pitch count, 18.1 per 9 inning or per inning. If he's able to pitch a little bit longer in the game, you might be able to get some more runs scored for you. So let's see if he can do that tonight against his former team.
Yeah, and that's a key as well. Will he be able to control his emotions as he faces the Indians? Orioles fans in the house, lineups and first pitch are next. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. and by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Beautiful day in downtown Cleveland today, Saturday afternoon baseball. The sun is still shining brightly. Here's our train game time temperature. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. 78 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 12, and that humidity still a very pleasant 48%. Let's get a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Markakis, David Lowe in the number 2 spot tonight, getting a start in left field, and Jones and Cruz. Davis at first, J.J. Hardy in the lineup, then Flaherty, Joseph, and Scope to follow against Carlos Carrasco. And on the first pitch of the game, there's a base hit up the middle for Nick Markakis.
So take a look at Carlos Carrasco coming off his first win in 18 starts, going all the way back to 2011. 5 innings up in New York against the Yankees, so a lot of fastballs. He can hit 95, big slider, got a pretty good changeup, like a splitter. So he throws a fastball. Nick now has an 8-game hitting streak, and the Orioles hope to take off to the races, something that they didn't do last night, where they struggled for runs.
And would it be nice to give Ubaldo a lead before he takes them out? So here's David Lowe in the number 2 spot tonight to get another left-handed bat in there. And he'll take outside 1-0. David has not had many starts as of late, batting at .219. However, since the All-Star break, Jim, he's batting at a .350 clip. Just 20 at-bats, but he's got 7 hits.
Well, all year long, and I think it goes back to in spring training, concussion-like symptoms, and had a pretty good year last year. That pitch, at 98. I think now he has a power arm, average fastball at 95, but I think the gun is maybe a little bit to the pitcher's side here, so maybe a mile or 2, but he does have a good arm. He's got 2 other pitches, but again, ever since that, maybe the bat looping a little bit, had a nice year. Not a lot of home runs for Kansas City, but he can help you win games with us, and we've seen that. He's a pretty good base runner. He can go from first to home. He can steal bases on occasion, 7 out of 12, but he's a plus defender in left field. And again, the numbers, Carrasco has dominated right-handers, so Delman Young, even though he got a hit last night, 1 for 4, he will be out of the lineup, at least initially.
Carrasco ahead of Lowe, 1-2. And a good take, and it's even 2-2.
Yeah, they're all trying to find out what the strike zone is. And it was Dana DeMuth. He favored the ball up in the zone last night. And tonight it's Ron Culpa behind the plate. There's Dana.
And there is Mr. Culpa. Saw Buck flash some signs to Bobby Dickerson. Will Markakis be put in motion? He does not go. And a swing and a miss. So Lowe is down on strikes and 1 away.
Yeah, that's the splitter change, so it can get ground balls. And in this case, with 2 strikes, watch it dive out of the zone. So you saw 98, and then you see at the bottom of the strike zone a splitter change that acts like a split-fingered fastball. And when thrown properly, it's really hard to center. I mean, the ball's just going to drop. It's got that tumbling motion, but the good ones, you don't pick it up.
So here is Adam Jones, and of course Ron Culpa has the plate tonight, so a lot of pregame chatter about, hey, what might the strike zone be for Adam? Culpa was the umpire who said that Adam offered on that bunt last night in which he was hit by the pitch, and the replays clearly showed he did not offer Adam.
But he also said that even though he wasn't asked, and he did it after the fact.
There's a double play ball. Ramirez to Kipnis and back to first. So Adam wasn't going to wait around. He jumped on the first pitch, hit it hard, but right at the shortstop. So Ubaldo goes to work. Bottom of the first coming up, no score. Orioles don't score in the first. Here come the Indians. In the bottom of the first, Michael Bourne off the DL, Jose Ramirez, and Michael Brantley in the number 3 spot. Real good month of August, including 12 RBIs. Santana, Kipnis, and Gomes with Chisenhall, Walters, and Dickerson for the Tribe.
And Ubaldo, there is the composite. You can see, again, the 56% fastballs. Those are mostly 2-seamers, occasional 4-seamer. Breaking ball could be a slider or a curveball, and then the changeup is really a splitter. So for him to be able to throw that pitch effectively, as you look at, again, if you look at the numbers, he's got to get ahead in the count. And when you look at the 63 walks, sometimes he doesn't do that. Now, he did pitch against this Cleveland ball club, and they did load it with left-handers, just like they've done tonight. Really not a whole lot of difference between righties and lefties. It's about, can you throw strikes? Can you get ahead? Can you conserve your pitch count? And the other thing to keep in mind, over the last 5 starts, the Indians, their starters have given up 3 earned runs. So you better pitch well. And that's what Chen did last night, even though the Orioles lost in 11.
Corey Kluber was outstanding.
Klubot, they call him. He's like a robot.
And there's a strike taken by Bourne.
I asked Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, I said, so, you know, you talk to Kluber a lot? He goes, are you kidding me? What would I change? He said, you don't want to mess with that. That's how good he's been.
Ubaldo falls behind 3-1. Averaging 5.4 walks per game. And he walks the leadoff hitter here in the first.
Well, yeah, I mean, in years past, you know, Bourne, until he came to the Indians last year, had 5 straight 40 or more stolen bases. So some hamstring problems last year. Just came off the DL yesterday. Hadn't played, really hasn't been active since what, the 6th of July. And again, I think when you stack your lineup as Terry Francona has, a lot of times you won't run with guys till you at least get one out, because you want to keep that hole into right field. Because any ground ball into right field is going to be a first and third.
Jose Ramirez takes ball 1. So 5 of the 6 pitches out of the zone to begin for Ubaldo.
Now, you asked me in the opening, did you really think there was a lot of pressure when you're struggling? You start out 0-4. I think the other thing is the Orioles do have 6 starters. And they sent out Miguel Gonzalez, so Jimenez could come back off the disabled list. He pitched pretty well against the Cardinals. They did get him a lot of runs, something they don't do on a regular basis. Again, that 3.58 is what, 56th in run support out of 59 pitchers. So not a lot of room for error when he pitches, mainly because of the run scored for him.
Bunt attempt, throw behind the runner, and diving back in is Bourne.
Yeah, we saw Ramirez is he did not hit in the second spot, but he is a pretty active type of guy, switch hitter, trying to do something to make something happen. I'm not sure. I think that was a bunt for a base hit, because in the American League, you normally, because you only get 27 outs with a DH, you don't give up outs early in the game, especially when you have a pitcher that's got an ERA of what, over 4.5 runs a game. I thought anytime they would bunt in the first inning and give me an out, it's almost like Christmas is coming early.
Well, Bourne is 7 out of 10, as you saw. Well, the run support thing with Ubaldo is kind of fascinating. He has just the 4 wins, but in those 4 wins, the Orioles have scored 22 runs. In his 8 losses, they've scored 7 runs, 7 total in 8 losses. So you have to be next to perfect, and unfortunately in those games he was not. Well, again, ball 3.
Yeah, in the modern baseball world, a lot of times you pitch for no decisions because they pay you a lot of money for that. So in other words, what I'm saying is, you just pitch well, and if you go 6 in the 3rd innings and you leave and you sequence your well into the bullpen, you can really help the team. So this is exactly what he didn't want to do. And you know, in his last start, he went into the 4th inning. The pitch count was closing in on 90. He would throw 99 pitches in four innings. He would give up 2 runs, but McFarland would give up and come in and give up 3 inherited runners. So 4 innings, 5 runs against the Indians back on the 24th of May. And boy, you don't want to be pitching around Bourne and Ramirez to get to Brantley, who's red hot, and he's hitting .358 here at Progressive Field in Cleveland.
Brantley had 351 with runners in scoring position. That's among the best in the league. Tied for third with that batting average, and he is seventh in RBIs with his 78. And Ubaldo gets ahead of his first hitter 0-1.
Yeah, and if you're not having this kind of year, if you at least till you get to 2 strikes, if you don't hit on your terms. So Ubaldo makes a very nice pitch with the splitter, and he just takes it because he said that's not what I was looking for. That was a pitcher's pitch.
High fly ball left field. Lowe has it, and he's there for the out, so 1 down, and Lowe fires back in. A big out for Ubaldo.
Yeah, they couldn't advance the runners, and they make an out. As you look at the Orioles defense, Lowe, Jones, and Markakis, I mean, tremendous outfield tonight for the Orioles. Flaherty taking the place of Manny Machado, who won the Platinum Glove at third. Hardy a couple of gold gloves. Scope, Davis, and then Caleb Joseph, the rookie, behind the plate.
19 outfield assists combined between those three tonight.
Not only that, they can go get. Lowe throws well, Jonesy throws well, Markakis throws well. You hope you don't have to be throwing guys out at the plate, but just in case.
Carlos Santana, the switch hitting first baseman. And a strike on the corner. There are 3 switch hitters in the lineup: Ramirez, Santana, and Zach Walters, and 5 straight left-handed batters. So 8 of the 9 coming up. Terry Francona, as Jim mentioned, stacked the lineups with lefties, and the splits are really not that much different. But Francona had him last year, so he knows, well, maybe this is the best way to go.
Well, he hopes, Terry Francona hopes he doesn't pitch as well as he did last year. I mean, he was 9-9 going into September. Went 4-0 with a 1.04 ERA, but 32 games, 27 of those 3 runs or less. He was the model of consistency, even though he was wild, but he could strike you out. I mean, this is not the guy that made the All-Star team for Colorado in 2010 throwing 96 to 98 miles per hour. Probably going to top out at about 92, even though it might have a fast gun, so maybe he'll hit 93 tonight.
Oh, gets away from Caleb Joseph, and the runners will advance. And ricochets all the way to Flaherty by the coach's box.
I think he crossed him up. I mean, we haven't seen that all year. Runner on second. You like to change your signs. You want to be on the same page. It did not look that was the case. I mean, he boxes this. So you can see he's expecting something else, and that will probably go as a pass ball because it didn't bounce. But it really doesn't matter. The runners go into scoring position. Now all of a sudden no double play in order, and for Santana he's just going to try to get a ball in the air, if not a base hit.
Counts in his favor at 2-1. Popped up, foul near the dugout, and it's going to come down out of play right in the first row.
And it kind of gets away with a hanging breaking ball because of the count. Hey, look at the Indians. They came into last night's game at 500, 60 and 60, but not here. 13 games over 500. Different ball club when they play here at Progressive Field. They hit better, or they hit as well as they do on the road, but they pitch ERA almost 0.6 of a run lower at home.
Well, 2-2 on Santana. High fly ball to center field, and he got a lot of it. Jones is back, and that ball is gone. And just like that, the Indians have a 3-0 lead. So the 2 walks really hurt as Santana hits his 21st.
And we always talk about walks will kill you, but it's really what happens after the walk. And Ubaldo will be the first guy to tell you, I don't want to walk anybody and I don't want to pitch up. Look where that ball is. I mean, it's right there with the Indian logo on the front of the jersey, and he just tomahawks it over the center field fence. That is now 21 home runs, 16 hitting left-handed.
So a 3-0 deficit in the first for Ubaldo. And down and in, 1-1 on Kipnis. This with 6 home runs on the year. And he'll line it to center field for a base hit. Already 4 base runners, 3 runs in, and still only 1 down. And already a visit from Dave Wallace in the first inning.
Well, it's a tough call for a pitching coach. I mean, they work on fastball command, throwing the 2-seamer for the middle of the plate, let it run to the corners. But if you want to compare, let's compare him to either Chen or Kluber, who pitched last night. And you know, what did Kluber do? He could pitch to both sides of the plate, threw much harder, had a really good slider. He also, you know, if you look at Chen, a lot of changeups last night, probably the most we've seen all year long. He made 1 mistake. That was a fastball up to Zach Walden. So again, you talk about doing all these things, and I guess what's frustrating is that Ubaldo hasn't been able to do that this year. Can't get ahead of guys. Doesn't trust his stuff. Has to pick.
Runner goes and no throw.
Yeah, you look at the numbers. That's 14 now out of 20 attempts. So a lot of options. You know, Kipnis hurt early in the year with the oblique. 30 steals last year, 31 the year before, and Terry Francona, as you mentioned, does know Ubaldo Jimenez, and they're going to take advantage. They're going to look for their pitch, and if he doesn't throw it, good chance he's going to walk him. And, you know, Santana, a very aggressive hitter. He clubs one over his head, and then Kipnis gets on, and it could be a track meet. It changes a little bit now because they kind of put the shift on, and Scope's playing right behind him at second. So a little bit more difficult for him to think about stealing third.
0-2 on Gomes. Just inside.
And the other thing, when you're struggling, grip pressure, you try to throw harder, you can't. You know, you got to get your arm out in front, and there's a tendency when you want to do well. I mean, Ubaldo is certainly in that page. You know, wanted to get off to a good start, didn't. Wants to pitch well, wants to justify a huge contract, 4-year deal.
And he got him.
Yeah, really good pitch there, and it's all about making good pitches. Didn't want to walk the first 2 guys, did. Didn't want to get a ball up to Santana, did. When he's able to pitch this way, he can be very effective. So again, a veteran guy that knows how to pitch, and he's just been struggling to execute the type of pitch and game plan he wants to go out there with.
So a big run out there at second base. Already trailing 3-0. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall, the Indians' third baseman. And a strike. Chisenhall at 292. He's got 11 home runs. Left foul, so it's 0-2. So the last 2 hitters he's been able to get ahead.
And when we saw him in May, Lonnie Chisenhall was in the 350 range. Huge series. Look at those numbers. And last night he pinch hit and they walked him. Pitched right around him. If you pitched him away, he hit it to left. If you threw him a breaking ball, he was hitting doubles and home runs to right field in Camden Yards.
Ubaldo came off the DL to make that start last Saturday against St. Louis. And in 6 innings got the win. His first start since July the 1st. He was on the DL from July 13th to August 9th because of the right ankle sprain.
Yeah, not ideal to pitch every week. And that's what he's doing, but I mean, you got to try to figure out a way if you're going to be in the rotation and you have off days like they did on Thursday. You know, maybe you throw a little bit longer or more often. Combination of those two.
Outside. 2-2 on Kipnis.
I mean, it's not really. I mean, 30 pitches, 18.1 coming in per innings. But again, with Chisenhall, you mentioned how important this 4th run is. You got a rookie on deck. You can't give in to him. He's making good pitches, and Chisenhall, because again, he's having a nice year. I mean, last year he struggled early. He went down. He had 390 at AAA. They brought him back, and this year has been a much better player. Former #1 draft choice.
So 2-2 on Chisenhall. And just fouled it off.
See, those are all quality pitches, and he's just trying to stay alive long enough to be able to maybe put one in play. And again, when you have speed at second, very difficult with 2 outs to throw him out at the plate because he's running on contact.
This will be the 8th pitch in this at bat, and he was 0-2 after 2 pitches. Strike 3 called, a fastball right there. Chisenhall flips the bat, doesn't like the call. So a big inning for the Indians, a 3-run home run by Santana for the lead. Won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play the Orioles scratch off from the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be the contestant of the game. You can win a trip for 2 to see the World Series, and you can find out how by getting online at mdlottery.com/Orioles. Caleb goes over and sits down with Obado to talk it over. 2 walks really hurt him. Here's Nelson Cruz leading off. Carrasco deals a strike. So Carrasco now has got to be feeling real good about it.
Well, he got a couple of single runs in the first, 3 innings up in New York. He would win 4-1 in that game, pitch 5 innings in the bullpen, and they have a good one. He'll come to the rescue. He beat Hiroki Kuroda. But that's the amazing thing when you look at their notes. He had not won a start since June 29th, 2011. Great stuff. Much better out of the bullpen where he didn't have to maybe project, think about the 5th, 6th, 7th innings versus 1 pitch, 1 hitter at a time. And that's what they're trying to get him to do.
Chopper towards third. Tough play for Chisenhall. Off balance throws off the bag and Cruz is on. There's an infield hit, a swinging bunt for Nelson Cruz. Well, fans, you know, you can earn rewards for sharing and posting Orioles content on social media by joining the O's Bird's Nest. You can join the conversation now at osbirdsnest.com, plus enter today's bonus code, Powell, after the boog. Before midnight, you'll receive 2 bonus tokens and be entered to win a monthly prize of an autographed player photo or a year-end prize of 2 tickets to 2014 opening day. Join the O's Bird's Nest today and start being rewarded.
So, boog.
Boog is the...
Or actually, Powell.
Powell, yes.
If you're an Oriole fan, it goes for Boog Powell. I mean, if you live in Arizona and Nevada, Lake Powell, or Boog Powell. And with that in mind, what happened on today, Babe Ruth hit a ball over the roof in Comiskey Park, old Comiskey Park.
Wow.
Who did that also for the Orioles? The Boog Powell off Juan Pizarro.
Chris Davis, 1-1 the count. Chris, a tough night last night.
Well, and it was a tough night. He struck out 4 times and popped up, and because Kluber could ride the ball in him. And then once he established in, and Dana DeMuth had a big strike zone, called him out on the ball 2-3 inches off the outside corner. Breaking ball. See, I mean, that ball's outside. I mean, it's around the plate. So, we'll see what kind of strike zone call it had. But Demuth, it was one that favored more the pitcher last night, and I think the scoreboard reflected that. 2-1 game in 11 innings.
Outside 2-2. Well, Chris, of course, has had a pronounced struggle. He is 2 for his last 19. That's a 105 clip, and he has struck out 10 of the 19 times. And I asked Jim Presley by the batting cage today if in his time and tenure as a coach does he find sometimes hitters hurt themselves by thinking too much. As Chris fouls it off, and he said, if you're slumping, you think about it when you wake up. You think about it when you're at lunch before the ballpark. You bring it to the ballpark. You think about it while you're hitting. And it's not a way to hit, but it's the mental aspect of the game that is so important.
Well, Buck Showalter talked about it. We just showed to Jim Presley, the hitting instructor. He said your brain gets ahead of your body. And it's, you can't imagine how tough that is to deal with. But he said, I'm surely not giving up on the guy that hit 53 home runs and drove in 138 runs last year. He went there. And, one of the things is when you're striking out a lot and they're pounding the inside and you're not getting to it because of the loop in your swing, you cheat. And when you cheat, you get out in front too much, because you feel like your bat's not quick enough. And again, it's not how hard you swing the bat. It's from, again, remember the bat head is point A, the ball's B. How quickly or what kind of track or path does the bat head take to the ball? And that's where Chris is struggling now.
J.J. Hardy now will take a strike. J.J. back in the lineup last night. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going, batting at .285.
Well, both of these innings, you get the leadoff runner on, and then you can't advance them. It's a harder way to score runs.
Well, Presley says he's learned along the way. He said, in fact, when he was a young player in Seattle, Gorman Thomas helped him a lot. He was struggling, and he said, well, what are you looking for? And he said, well, I was looking for a slider. He said, well, you shouldn't be looking for a slider. You should be looking for a slider you can hit. Don't swing at it just because it's a slider and that's what you were looking for. And Jim said he's learned over the years, and he tries to impart this on his hitters, that you look out over the plate and then you react in.
Right, but you have to have a good swing to do that. Right. And right now, the bat head is getting trapped behind Chris Davis. And they're pounding them in, and then they go away soft.
And a double play ball. Ramirez bobbles it, and everybody's safe.
Yeah. We talked about Carrasco maybe thinking about the 5th or 6th inning. Right there, Ramirez is thinking about the double play instead of just making sure he catches it and makes the shuffle. So Cabrera now playing second base, and again, he's trying to get it out of the glove. I mean, heads up play makes it close over at first. So this is pretty routine, but it's even more routine if J.J. Hardy does not run hard, and yet he does. So it keeps the inning alive. They don't turn the double play. That was tailor-made. If all you have to do is catch it, make the toss, and you're probably going to get 2, just as the way the first inning ended.
So the Orioles now look for an opportunity for a big hit to make the Indians pay for the error. Here's Ryan Flaherty. Ryan just 1 for his last 14, and he has 2 on and 1 out. And it's down and in, 1-0.
Well, Ryan was able to get a base hit off of Kluber, got a ball up in the zone, and he smoked it into right field. And then the next time he hit it very hard to second base, and then after those 2 swings, Corey Kluber made some adjustments, went to the breaking ball. And remember, Cleveland now has 94 errors. That is 12 more than any other team in the American League.
Another borderline call.
Yeah, 96. Take a look, and I'm telling you, big strike zones for the first 2 guys, and unfortunately, Ubaldo Jimenez couldn't take advantage of it. The 2 walks to lead off the first inning. And there's a splitter. So again, this has never been about stuff. It's about being able to control your emotions, control your stuff. I mean, that changeup's at 90. That's about a mile less than what the average fastball is in the American League.
Ramirez hoping Carrasco can bail him out. Line drive caught by Kipnis. There's a double play. How about that? He smoked it right to the second baseman in the inning ends. So an infield hit, an error, and one left. And some tough luck for Ryan Flaherty. That ball was hit well, and the double play ends the inning. Fan photos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast, all brought to you by AT&T. Some David Lowe fans in the house. More Oriole fans, and those are starting to get more and more fans on the road. Hello, how are you? Thanks for coming. Zach Walters takes a strike from Ubaldo. Walters hit the home run last night off Chen.
They hit the walk-off on Wednesday night. Then they went 16 innings scoreless until he hit another one. He doesn't get cheated.
No.
I was talking to him today. He kind of born in Wyoming because his father was in the armed forces, then lived in Wyoming, and then played all different sports. And Chen really pitched well last night. I mean, pitched. Great stuff. Got the extra day of rest. Really takes advantage of that when he gets the opportunity.
Strike three called, so a 3-pitch strikeout to begin the second. Ubaldo has struck out the last 3 batters.
And he does it low and away. Young hitter, glove on the corner, ball somewhere in that area. Well, you're getting the idea. I think, of course, you don't know that when you go out, and he didn't mean to walk the first 2 guys, but he did. But now all of a sudden, after you've been watching the game as a veteran, you're going, hey, this is a pretty big strike zone. Let's take advantage of it. Let's get the glove on the corner, and if we're just a little bit off and we can earn those strikes, it's going to be a little bit easier to pitch.
Former Oriole Chris Dickerson. He swings through it.
And there's only one thing Ubaldo can do right now, and that is to just slam the door and hope that the offense can come and rally. You didn't want to give up 3, but you did. So shut him down if you can.
Dickerson's power zone. He has a couple of home runs, playing in his 30th game. He was in AAA with the Pirates, and the Indians had a need, and they made the trade. Terry Francona does quite a bit of platooning, and Dickerson is one of those players. A good job in his tenure with the Orioles. There's Brad Mills on the right, Terry's bench coach.
No, he's a kind of a David Lowe type of player. He can make a little more power, he hit some home runs. Good low ball hitter. And both throw well, both good defensive outfielders. Started out strong. He told me he was spiraling the wrong way yesterday.
Unfittingly, he hits it to David Lowe. And 2 men down. As Ubaldo's an out away from this first 3-up, 3-down inning. Well, one of the most popular Oriole Park fan chants will come to a T-shirt On Wednesday, August 27th, all the fans at the game that night at 7:05 against Tampa Bay received the Darren O'Day, 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 O'Day t-shirt.
That didn't work last night, Jim.
I'm reading it. It's right here.
Oh, okay. Well,
don't miss this one-of-a-kind edition to your Birdland wardrobe. Get your tickets now, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Now, what's it say? O'Day, 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 O'Day.
Yeah. Only one time. You could actually. Do we have the marker? To kind of erase the O'Day. Oh.
You're going to edit the copy?
No, but you could.
Real good off-speed pitch. And it's nothing to it. Baldo trying to settle down. He's retired 4 in a row since the Kipnis single. This is only the second career appearance for Jimenez against Cleveland. He made 74 starts as an Indian and went 26-30. And he gets born. High strike. And a swing and a miss. So Ubaldo settles down. A 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the third. Cleveland in front. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Luna. For beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. If it was that kind of a day, just grab your book, head down by the lake.
Yeah, the temperature's got a lot warmer. Nice little breeze.
Baldo recovers.
Let's see if the offense can recover. Well, you could see how Carrasco was part of that Cliff Lee trade back in 2009. And because, again, when you trade somebody like Cliff Lee, you're looking for prospects with good arms. Another survivor of Tommy John surgery. Pretty decent year for him. What, in 2011, and then towards the end of the year had to have the Tommy John surgery, so rehab most of 2012, and still throws in the upper 90s. Look at that pitch.
Deep inside the numbers, the batting has come on. July, team hit 229, August 275. A 46-point difference, the largest in Major League Baseball. Of course, this is a team that has lived by the home run.
What, 47% of the runs, somewhere in that neighborhood, most in baseball.
Yep.
And Kluber throws a home run every 2 innings. He's about every 6.3 innings pitched, he throws a home run. So and a little breaking ball and a fastball count to a young hitter who Caleb Joseph with home runs in 5 consecutive games, and as you mentioned last night, set the all-time Oriole record. I thought he had tied it, but no. He's the leader.
Well, Bordy did that game, so.
No, I listen to games when I'm not doing it.
Joseph, right center field. He got a lot of it. Back it goes, and that is off the wall, and it's in play. Michael Bourne will play the carom, and there's Caleb Joseph in at second base with a leadoff double.
Well, he could hit the heater. That's why, again, 2-1 count. They threw him a slider. They come back with a fastball, and he's waiting. We can go the other way, too. I mean, out over the plate. I'm talking, it's going to be Jim Presley tonight, the Oriole hitting instructor. He said, Caleb, getting a little bit more comfortable this winter. Got to get in the gym. That's what he told Manny Machado when he came up after his rookie year out of A-ball. Grabbed his bicep and he said, got to get in the gym. And he did.
Well, Jonathan Scope now the number 9 batter.
See if he shoots one to right field. I still think, when you're down by 3 runs this early in the game, you want to get some, and runs are at a premium. We told you the fact over the last 5 games, their starters are giving up 3 earned runs. Get a run in. And the little things of actually moving a runner over, you get a young hitter. As you look at again, doesn't hit too many balls to right field, so it's not his field of choice. Only 12 of them. But if you get a guy to third base, sometimes you get a young pitcher who is better out of the bullpen. He's thinking, I got to strike him out. And you get a base on balls, and all of a sudden maybe you get more runs than you think you're going to get.
Swings through it, 1-2. Well, this is without a doubt a play for the big inning team. They rarely sacrifice. They're last in stolen bases. And they thrive on the big innings with the home run. And that's gotten them in the first place. And Scope down on strikes.
Yeah, no approach whatsoever to try to shoot one into right. And you talk about it all the time. You go down to batting practice, man on second, get him over. I mean, you're a little different when you get the 2 strikes, because he makes a great pitch. But until then, you at least want to kind of see the effort. But again, this is another reason when you look at what's going on with the 3 runs that Jimenez gives up, is that you feel like you have to play for the big inning. That's what 3-run deficit early in the game does.
Here's Markakis, who singled his first at bat, extends his hitting streak to 8 in a row. Down and in, 1-0. 31 times this month he's been on base. How about that? Most in Major League Baseball.
22 hits now.
Yep. 22 for 53 in the month. It's a nice 415 clip for him.
Well, that's why the offense was so good before the injury to Manny Machado. He was 50 for his last 150. Hitting 333, 8 home runs over those 150 at bats, kind of getting back to Manny being Manny after the knee injury and the operation in the offseason. And also when he hits second, when he hits right behind Nick, when he gets on, he's able to hit the ball to all fields. Well, it's a grounder.
Wow.
But it's been established. It's going to favor the pitcher.
And Nick changes back on Colton.
Out over the plate. Yeah, I'm not even sure that he thought that pitch was a strike. Yeah, if you're Yan Gomes, you're just going to put the glove somewhere in the corner, and if he keeps hitting it, it's going to be tough to overcome this 3-run deficit, especially with the kind of power arm that Carrasco has. And then just think about it when you get the 2 strikes. I mean, the first strike was questionable, it was 2-0. So, yeah, you know what? It still counts in my favor. Then it gets to 2-2. Now, 2-2, you have to expand. And the home plate umpire, it's not like Carrasco needs help.
And what's happening is because of the big strike zone, and you can take advantage of it. It just, you think you know the strike zone if you're Nick Markakis, but you're not really sure you know Ron Kulpa's strike zone.
See, and that's one of the things to me that just drives me crazy, what you just said. Ron Kulpa strike zone. It's supposed to be a rule book strike zone. It's not supposed to be, this is how I interpreted strike zone.
Well, everybody interprets it a little bit different. But I think when Sandy Alderson, who is now with the Mets, when he was head of all the umpires, you want to try to establish you have to throw the ball over the plate. And that's not the case tonight so far.
High fly ball, shallow left. Michael Brantley will put it away for the second out, so leadoff double. And Joseph is still out there at second base.
Well, it's 3 innings where they've got 2 leadoff singles and a leadoff double, and runners have not advanced.
Nice night along the lake. Another nice crowd for the Indians. They have the fireworks laser show last night. They're doing it again tonight.
A little concert too, maybe, or something.
Well, they're
throwing in there.
I don't know about the
little
concert.
bit of everything.
Last night it was a laser and fireworks show to music.
You know, you being the music buff that you are, I figured you would know.
And here is David Lowe.
Yeah, there actually is a band with the fireworks, Rock and Blast. There you go.
David Lowe, born in Akron, right down the road, so he'd like to play well here. Lives in Ohio, in Clinton, Ohio.
He would like to rock and blast.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. He'd just take a base hit, get on the board, put a little pressure on Carlos Carrasco.
Carrasco made 4 starts in April and did not win. His ERA in those 4 starts was 6.95. And he was moved to the bullpen, and he made 26 consecutive appearances in relief before the start you talked about last Sunday, against the Yankees.
And he was lights out in the bullpen. Yeah, there you go. I mean, look at the big difference there. And what Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, was saying is he just, a little different approach. A lot of guys will tell you that. You relieve, hey, get up. Carrasco, get up, come in, get the guys out. You don't really project into the later innings. So the mindset is, hey, every inning at a time. Right here, the Orioles are just looking for base runners. Wouldn't it be great if he kind of pulls a Jimenez and he pitches around low to get to Adam Jones? That's what the Orioles are looking for. Get somebody up there with one swing and get him right back into this game.
3-0 on David. He was about to go to first base, except
well, this is embarrassing. I mean, it really is. Those pitches aren't even close.
So 3-1. Swings at it and fouls it off.
Yeah, that's the thing that I know you said it bothers you that everybody doesn't have a strike zone, but if you're an umpire supervisor and you happen to be here tonight, would you say that Ron Kulpa is doing a good job tonight, whether you're for Orioles or not? It doesn't really matter.
I think your answer is, Jim, that they do nothing because they still umpire. I mean, I think that's the simple answer. They're obviously not disciplined. Go from 3-0 to 3-2. Caleb at second after his leadoff double. He's there now with 2 men down. High fly ball to right. Dickerson is there. And Carrasco gets out of it. Really worked around the leadoff double. Caleb Joseph left stranded. Mid-third, 3-0 Indians. Maryland University College. How about back in 1873 at Baltimore's Newington Park? Baltimore Canaries outfielder Lip Pike. He raced a horse, and Pike had a short lead after 75 yards, but then the trotter broke into a run, and Pike holds on the win in 10 seconds flat. How about that? And then in 1948, not a nice day for baseball. Sad day as the Babe passed away at the age of 53, August 16, 1948, 66 years ago. And of course, the Babe Ruth Birthplace and Museum is downtown. And if you're in Baltimore and you have a chance, go see Mike Gibbons and the gang over there. Outstanding exhibitions at the Babe Ruth Museum, the Sports Legends Museum as well. Babe's 714 home runs, and he debuted as a minor leaguer for the Baltimore Orioles in 1914. Eventually was traded to the Boston organization, and then made his debut as a pitcher with the Red Sox July 11th, 1914.
And then getting back to good old Lip Pike was the first professional baseball player, first one to ever be paid. Also the first Jewish player. And he played for the Troy Haymakers. How about that?
Bouncer to scope.
This guy?
Better hurry.
And Ramirez is retired in 1-11.
Yeah, boy, he gets down there.
No,
he's a runner.
In Troy, is there a lot of hay?
I don't really know. Father was a haberdasher. One of the premier players of his day, great slugger. Hit 21 lifetime home runs, but it was a dead ball.
Right.
And that's what Babe Ruth ties in. One year, I guess, the year he hit 59 home runs, he hit more home runs than everybody else in baseball, which is why he was Babe Ruth, because he did something that nobody else could do at that time. Not to mention how great a pitcher he was.
Michael Brantley flied out his first at bat. Six in a row retired by Ubaldo.
Trying to get in a rhythm and then just keep them where they are and wait for the cavalry charge if that is going to come.
And that ball sliced foul. Well, Brantley against the AL East, .324 batting average. And he was right in the middle of that top five.
Well, I was talking to
2012.
Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting instructor. I said, boy, he really hits well here, and hitting .357 at home. And he said, we're not even counting all the line drives that have been caught, because he is a line drive hitter with occasional power. I mean, this year, already I think 3 more home runs than he hit last year. But line to line, and a good base steal. 13 out of 14, and a very good outfielder. Can play center, can play left. Sure, he could play right. They put him out there.
Aldo bounces it in there. Count even 2-2.
I was reading an article a couple. His dad, of course, is Mickey Brantley, the longtime major league player and batting instructor. It's actually the batting instructor with the Mets in 1999, and I think Bobby Valentine was the manager, but then he brought Tom Robeson in. But Michael talked about how he kind of learned baseball hanging around with all the big leaguers when he was a kid. So a take there.
And from 0-2 to 3-2 on Brantley.
Ubaldo's last start, only the 1 home run, and that was to John Jay. Low fastball he hit in Baltimore.
So to Hardy. Nice hop to JJ and 2 down. So good job there by Ubaldo to get the out. Win the chance to compete against Adam Jones in a burger cook-off in this year's Care First Fan Challenge. Just tweet using the hashtag #IChallengeAJ for your chance to win this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. And 2 down here, Santana, who hit the 3-run home run in the first. Aldo gets ahead of him.
Yeah, that's where he wanted to be. And first thing he told me in spring training, I said, you went from 9-9 to 13-9, going 4-0 in September. I said, what was the difference? He said, keeping the ball down in the zone. And that way I could use all my other pitches. You want to pitch up when you're ahead and you can go in to get them out of the way. And it's much easier to pitch in when you're ahead or even in the count.
Well, there's where the pitches were, and look where the one was that he hit.
Well, it was Indian high. I mean, right at the letters. Almost maybe a little bit higher than that. He just tomahawked it.
Yeah, 3-1 to count. Ubaldo, the 2 walks in the first inning, both scored. He's now walked 65 on the year. And there's a 2-out walk, 3rd in the game.
Well, you're down 3-0. You get behind him. He's taking you deep. Don't want to get into the power zone again and miss, and all of a sudden he's down on first. But that's what he does.
Leads the league in there. Jason Kipnis now. He singled his first at bat. Strike on the inside corner.
Look, Jason Kipnis looking down. The edge of the ball might have gotten the inside corner. That's a really, again, the plate 17 inches, ball a little bit over 2 inches. All the edge has to do is hit it. Tonight the plate's 17 inches wide and the ball's about 4 inches wide. It's a very ample strike zone.
Well, Ubaldo gets his share of strikeouts. He's averaging 8 per 9 innings on the year. He's ahead 0-2. Pitch out, nothing doing.
Yeah, the one thing, the strikeouts, I mean, might have just a little bit under 8, but the walks. 5.37 per 9 innings. And he doesn't pitch 9 innings, so that means that even a little bit wilder than that. I mean, it's trending towards where you don't want to be.
So they got ahead 0-2, and then they go pitch out, and now it's 2-2. Santana on the year has 3 steals out of 4 attempts, so he normally does not run. And now it's 3-2. And with 2 down, Santana will run now. Davis yelling into Ubaldo that he's going to play behind the runner. Santana runs, and a swing and a miss. He got him. So Ubaldo works around the 2-out walk, picks up his 5th strikeout. We're through 3 in Cleveland. The Indians with a 3-0 lead. Their hitting is all about the home run. Before the All-Star break, they went 31-6 when they out-homered their opponent in a game. That was second best in the American League. But they went just 7-22 when their opponents hit more home runs in a game. That's 8th in the league. Now, since the All-Star break, Jim, even more telling, 13-0 when they out-homered their opponent, but just 1-3 when hitting less. And last night was a perfect example. The Indians hit 2, the Orioles hit none. So when you live by the home run, if you don't get it, it's tougher to score runs, tougher to win.
So, again, with the Orioles coming in with an 8-game lead, or 7.5, at 8 in the loss column, everybody already saying, well, when they get to the postseason, are they going to get to the postseason? And what happens usually in the postseason, Elias, baseball analyst back in 1986, did the best pitchers against the best hitters, the All-Star team in respective leagues, and what they found out, those pitchers give up less runs because they walk less people and they don't throw as many home runs. That's usually what the postseason's about. All you got to do is look at what the Red Sox did last year. They pitched well. Lester was 4-1. Lackey had a real good postseason, and they had a bunch of home runs. Teams they were playing, the Cardinals didn't.
And Jones nodding his head, yes, that was a strike on 2. Well, the Orioles have 69 wins this year, 58 when they homer, just 11 when they have it. Only the Astros, with 10 wins without a home run, have fewer wins in games in which they have not homered. That ball's hit sharply, but again right at the shortstop. And Ramirez gets Jones, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of bouncers to short. Fans, on Sunday, August 31st, celebrate the holiday weekend with your family at Oriole Park. All kids 14 and under will receive a Manny Machado orange replica Orioles jersey. Plus, all kids get to wear their new gear while they'll live out their big league dreams and run the bases after the game at 1:35. So come on out with your family at Oriole Park. That is Sunday, August 31st for the Manny Machado t-shirt for kids 14 and under. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for your tickets. Here's Manny with Joe Hogarty. Enjoying his sunflower seeds.
Some pretty good sliders. First to Adam Jones, and that one to Nelson Cruz. Yeah, if you look at the numbers, and again, they're a little bit, I guess, maybe not true numbers in a sense because he was pitching in the bullpen, but he doesn't give up many home runs.
Fly ball to right. Chris Dickerson has it in range.
So he came in at 70 innings pitched with 60 hits, 5 home runs. A lot of strikeouts, 66. Not too many walks with 18, but that's a home run every 14 innings. Now, I don't know if you can do that as a starter because you have to pitch against a guy at least hopefully 2-3 times. But the stuff, again, is pretty tough to center because he's got a lot of movement, a lot of velocity, and a couple of nice breaking balls.
Well, he was one of the key acquisitions in the trade with the Phillies, in which the Indians sent Cliff Lee to the Phillies. That was right about the trade deadline in 2009. Chris Davis takes a strike.
And when he wants to go to the slower breaking ball, he's been able to get that over. He has not been predictable. In other words, you can't look for a fastball and a fastball count because he might throw something else.
Ground ball into the shift. There's Ramirez, the shortstop, and he'll get Davis. So a very quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Carlos Carrasco. Mid-4th in Cleveland, 3-0 try. In you. Stephen Brault at Delmarva. How about these last two starts? Won them both. Combined ERA of 0.69. Walked only 2. Struck out 9 in 13 innings for the season. Real nice first full season. Just drafted last year. 9-8, 3.05. He leads Delmarva in victories. He was an 11th round pick last June out of Regis University in Denver. So the left-hander having a real good start. And in the first year where it's your first full season, he did pitch for Aberdeen last year. That's a big adjustment. Where you're expected to go to the mound every 5 days or whatever the rotation happens to be for Ryan Miner down there at Delmarva.
Yeah, we were talking on the bus how Jose Abreu, who is tied for the league in home runs, coming from Cuba, said the American League season's too long. Used to playing 90 games, so just imagine if you're a minor league guy, Abreu. So just my suggestion is maybe he'll just sit out the 3 games when the Orioles go to Chicago. Do a little resting next week. Maybe take Chris Sales with him. Maybe go out on Lake Michigan.
Enjoy the day, relax.
And the night. Take the evening off.
1-on-1 on Yan Gomes. There's a shift on Gomes. You see Scope on the shortstop side. Talks to J.J. Hardy between every pitch. J.J. is the leader out there in the infield. Towards the middle, and there's Scope. And Gomes is retired, so the shift work takes a base hit away from Gomes and one away.
Yeah, remember in the old days when they just hit the ball back up the middle? That's exactly what he did. I mean, he throws him a breaking ball. He stays right on it. Lets his slider just slide away. I mean, really stands up in the middle of the plate. Hits it about as hard as you can hit it. And there is your second baseman. You know, they used to do that to left-hand hitters. Shortstops play up the middle. Now they do it to right-handers. Gomes has some power, a lot of doubles, a lot of home runs. And if he wants to hit ground balls to right field, they'll probably say, go ahead, be my guest.
Strike one to Chisenhall. You saw Bobby Dickerson there, the Orioles' third base coach. He is the infield coach as well, and he implements the shifting, reminding the players where to play when they're applying the shift or applying the shift. No shift needed here. Bouncer to Hardy. Chisenhall's retired, so back-to-back groundouts and 2 away.
Yeah, one of the bigger outs was the Chisenhall out back in the first inning after Kipnis single stole second, and you got Gomes out, and then you got Chisenhall out. So the first inning was not more than 3 runs. I mean, that's 3 more than Ubaldo wanted to give up, but at least he was able to hold him there. A couple of walks and the home run by Santana.
Here's Zach Walters, called out on strikes his first at bat. Waldo went right at him and he swung through it.
Yeah, a little bit up and in, and what we know from the right side, because the home run and the single that he hit off of Wei and Chin were out over the plate. Yeah, I mean, just flick the home run just over the yellow line in left center. A 2-2 pitch.
Got a piece of Caleb. Ubaldo's retired 10 of the last 11 batters. Only the 2-out walk to Carlos Santana interrupting that streak. That was in the 3rd inning.
Well, the scoreboard right out here in left center that tells you Toronto's ahead after 5 over the White Sox 2-0. The Yankees have beaten Tampa Bay. So the work's cut out for you. It's not like the West Coast for almost all the games before you even start. You kind of know what you have to do.
0-2. And Walters fouls it off to stay alive. Ubaldo is pitching for an 8th time this year following an Orioles loss. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 5 no decisions in the prior 7. Outside.
Well, right now, after giving up 3 in the first, he'd take a no decision.
Oh, absolutely.
That would mean he would most likely have to keep pitching well, and the Orioles would have to rally.
Well, managers really don't like when the pitcher pitching the night game before a day game after a night game gets knocked out early, because it really could mess up the bullpen for the following day. Of course, the way Buck approaches it, you do whatever you can do to win this game, and you worry about tomorrow. Bounces it up there.
Yeah, you look at all the numbers for the Orioles, and the one thing that jumps out: Sunday games and day games, 17 and 22. So not a glowing record.
There's Kevin Gausman on the left. He will pitch tomorrow. Talking with Steve Pearce.
Yeah, they're going to bring up. It was supposed to be T.J. House, the left-hander. Danny Salazar, the hard-throwing righties, coming back.
Sharply hit. Davis gobbles it up and then races to the base. Tells the ball to get out of his way. And if Davis is coming at me, I'd get out of his way. 3 up, 3 down inning. We head to the 5th. In you, and by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. Overhead view of downtown Cleveland. There's the Brown Stadium on the top. There's the arena where the King is going to play. And out there in the Orioles bullpen, there's Darren O'Day and Tommy Hunter sharing stories on top of the roof. That's a really good view up there. Tommy's up there for a second straight night. And the Orioles come to bat in the 5th, down by 3. And strike one is taken by Hardy. Flaherty and Joseph will follow.
And Carrasco trying to do what he did in his first start since April, which is to pitch 5 shutout innings. That's what he did against the Yankees.
Now back this way.
To our right. It's this way we can get into duck mode.
I would have said.
You would have?
Oh yeah.
Ball's really hard, Jim.
I know that.
And it has spin. You'd be keeping score with your other hand if you try to catch it with your right hand.
Yeah,
you'd probably try to go with the left, being a former second baseman from New Jersey.
With good hands.
With a glove. That's probably the key.
Oh yeah, that thing. JJ reached on an error his first at bat. And he bounces it right at Ramirez again. And to first it goes, so 1 away at first. The out retired. Well, when the Orioles score 5 or more runs, the day after, you get 50% off your pizza at Papa John's. All you have to do is go online and enter the promo code Orioles5 at papajohns.com. And of course, the Orioles still have a chance to come back in this game, which would mean if they score 5 tomorrow, you can get that deal.
A lot of people without pizza after last night's game, unfortunately.
Ryan Flaherty will take ball one. 7 in a row retired now by Carrasco. Flaherty lined into a double play his first at bat on a ball that looked like it was going to be a base hit.
Yeah, we went out and got a ball in the outside corner and hit it pretty crisply up the middle, and Goodness was able to catch it and step on second. Well, not a lot of opportunities. And in the third inning, the Joseph double, and then couldn't move him over. So when he's been in trouble, if
Flaherty to center field, Bourne back on it.
Yeah, that's why you pitch to the big part of the ballpark if you can. If you have a power arm, even though you have a fastball hitter, you try to keep it on the outside third of the plate. He skies it. If he pulls that ball, it's probably a home run. Goes down the line, it's a home run. But to center field, it's a can of corn. I don't know how that baseball term ever, but it's a routine fly ball. Can of corn.
When's the last time you had corn out of a can?
Many moons.
Especially with all the great corn on the cob in Maryland. Here's Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, I was up in the county the other day. Being a city dweller, I came up 83, up in Ruxton Road, and there's you do have it up where you live out in the country, but there's all kinds of cantaloupes, and corn, and strawberries, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure who runs it now. Debbie used to run it years ago, and I lived right there. Almost made the turn.
Produce stand?
Yeah, produce stand. And
Carrasco is really pitching well.
Well, he's making great pitches. Good stuff and great pitches. Location and velocity and movement. Tough to do a lot with that.
Now on strikes goes Caleb. So strikeout number 4. The Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a second straight inning. 9 in a row retired by Carrasco. Fans 15 and over at the game against the Twins that day. It's a 1:35 day game on the holiday. You'll receive an Adam Jones bobblehead. Spend your holiday with your family and friends and enjoy exciting daytime baseball at Camden Yards. Now tickets are going fast, so get your tickets now by calling 888-848-BIRD or just go online at Orioles.com. Here's Mr. Jones. Orioles have out-hit the Indians 3-2. 2 walks by Ubaldo in the first inning.
Well, it's really the home run after that, too, as you know. Could have thrown a double play ball, but he didn't. He threw a home run, and that's the game to this point. And he's done exactly what he has to do to this point, and that is throw up zeros.
Showing bunt is Dickerson, and he takes it high.
But reality is, and I've been there, you give up more runs than you wanted early in the game, and in this case he gives up 3. You got to hang around if you want to win the game at least till they score 4 or 5, and that means if you shut them out the rest of the way, which is not always easy to do. There's a splitter, kind of pretty much down the middle.
Ubaldo has struck out 5. He has walked 3. And 2 of the 3 walks scored. Left field chasing David Lowe. Long run for Lowe. It's over his head and against the wall. Karen comes to Jones. He fires behind Dickerson. And there is a leadoff double for Chris Dickerson.
Yeah, pretty predictable if you get behind a fastball hitter. We saw that when Chris played in Baltimore. And he just throws him a fastball up and out of the plate, and he's looking for it, and he doesn't miss it. About 91 miles per hour and outside middle. And he's a big, strong guy.
So Jones call off David Lowe there. He had a better angle. So now the Indians look for add-on runs as Bourne bunts, and it's a beauty. Flaherty picks it up and fires to first. And Dickerson falls down as he rounds third.
Yeah, he's coming hard and loses his balance. Nice bunt. And if you don't anticipate it, it was such a good bunt that it would have been a base hit. Ryan Flaherty playing in and that little drop step. And he's saying it's a sacrifice, and here comes Ryan. And so the Orioles get an out. And now because of the scoreboard, and well, how many times have we seen other teams have to do this when the Orioles get the early lead? You get into the middle innings. You know it's harder to defend when you have to bring your infield in, but the scoreboard tells you you have to do that because of 3-0.
And you got to watch for the squeeze here. Ramirez really can bunt.
And he's looking around. And
all one outside.
Did hit a home run off of Brandon McCarthy up in New York. Right now he's not going to bunt. He's going to try to get something in the air. Oriole outfield very shallow.
And if you pitch around them to set up the double play, their leading RBI man is on deck.
And it's really not that you're trying to pitch around them. You know what the scoreboard tells you, and you're trying to make pitches, and then all of a sudden you look up, it's 2-0, 3-1.
Line to left field. David Lowe in on it. That's a base hit. Here comes Dickerson to score, and it's 4-0 Cleveland.
So we've seen a single and a double, and it's not because you're wild as far as walking people. You got into hitters' counts. Dickerson started off with a 2-0 fastball off the wall in left field, and then Ramirez 2-0. He's looking, what can I get in the air? Turns out, he launches a line drive. Looks like it may stay up, but it sinks, and David Lowe can't catch it. So again, the count can count as wildness when you get behind hitters, and that's here what's going on here in the 5th inning.
Michael Brantley now. Still only one out in the inning. Brantley flied out to left. He is grounded out to short. Runner bluff going, and the pitch is high.
Well, he stole 38 bases in the minor leagues last year, Double-A actor.
T.J. McFarland now getting loose, the former Indians farmhand.
And a 16-game winner a couple of years ago. Double-A, Triple-A. He ended up pitching, as we mentioned, back on the 24th of May when Ubaldo pitched against the Indians. One of his few bad outings of the year, where he gave up, I think 3 runs of his own and then 3 inherited runners.
Brantley tied for 3rd in the league in batting at .322, tied in 3rd in base hits. 147 hits from Brantley. And he struck in the outside corner, so it's 1-2.
Yeah, not a lot of movement in Michael Brantley's swing. When you talk about calm, the hands are nice and relaxed. They don't move much. Very short swing. And again, his strength is that, yeah, he can hit home runs if you hang a breaking ball or get into a hitter's count, but the ability to hit it all over the ballpark makes it harder to defend.
Well, 1-2 the count on Brantley. The runner at first is big.
It's kind of a hitter's wind tonight because it is blowing, at least if you're left-handed, blowing to right field.
There goes Ramirez, pitches high. Caleb's throw, the tag. He is safe.
Now J.J. Hardy catches it and then kind of tries to hold it. But you got a tall pitcher. So very good jump. Straight steal. And 38 in the minor leagues, and throw tails a little bit. Doesn't quite get to the bag. JJ's got to catch it way out in front, probably about 2-3 feet to the first base side of second base.
Well, 2-2 the count on Brantley. Outside, doesn't chase.
Well, when you have such a short swing as Michael Brantley has, it's harder to get a guy like that out with a breaking pitch. Look at that number right there. Runner's in scoring position number. Came in at 351, so it's gone down 6 points.
Different demeanors in the managers. Scoreboard tells you that. Right field, that's deep, and that ball is gone.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with the breaking ball. If you hang it, and that's what that was, and the wind's blowing out that way, you take a line drive back up the middle hitter and turn him into a home run guy. Number 18 on the year.
So a buck coming out, that'll do it for Ubaldo. On a night the Orioles needed him to step up, he did not pitch well, and he exits here in the 5th inning trailing 6-0. So Ubaldo leaves. T.J. McFarland coming on in the 5th.
But tonight it's all about the home runs. 3-run home run early, another 3 runs, 2 of them coming on the Brantley home run here in the 5th inning. So a couple of starts by Ubaldo Jimenez against his former team, and they have roughed him up. The Jiffy Lube pitching change. This pitching change should be quick, just like a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. A Jiffy Lube, they get you in and out and fast, and you never need an appointment. But T.J. McFarland, former Rule 5 draftee, 16-game winner, AA, AAA, out of the Cleveland Indian organization. You know, he's been doing a nice job. Sinker baller, 3 pitches, nice record, low ERA. See, maybe not a left-handed specialist, but a guy that can always get out of trouble as long as he keeps the ball in the ballpark, because he can throw ground balls. And there's his last number in a game where the Cardinals got 17 hits against the Orioles.
Line to center field, and short hop by Jones. It bounces up on him. Well, Santana gets McFarland with a base hit. The Indians are loosey-goosey right now.
Yep. Well, they can hit. I mean, they average 4.4 runs a game on the year, which is the same as the Orioles. I mean, they came into Baltimore in that 4-game series really swinging the bats well. And if you don't make good pitches, and if you go back, I mean, the Santana home run was up in the zone. The first, this inning, every ball belt high or better. In hitters counts. And right there, you look for a fastball. McFarland is better down. He throws it up, and you got yourself a base runner.
And bunting at it is Kipnis, but he fouls it off. Well, TJ has allowed runs in his last 2 appearances. He last pitched Sunday against the Cardinals, allowed a run in 2 innings, gave up 5 hits in those 2 innings. And his prior appearance was Wednesday, August 6th in Toronto, 1 run in 3 innings. Since the All-Star break, he's pitched 7 times, and he's allowed runs 4 times. Bouncer towards first. Nice pick there by Davis. Out at second, no throw back to first. Really nice grab.
Well, Buck, Oriole skipper Buck Showalter talking about it. He said, listen, he's struggling with the bat, but this is what he gives us. Outstanding defense. That Baseball America article came out, best tools, and they didn't mention him as one of the better fielding first basemen, even though to me he's in the top 3, 4, or 5. They did not even have Manny Machado. They had him as the second best infield arm, but did not have him one of the top 3 third basemen in the American League. And I'm thinking that's by the managers. That's kind of hard to. I mean, he had Beltre, who we know. He had Longoria, who's won a Gold Glove, but and then they had Josh Donaldson, who's played very well for Oakland. But Beltre's won 5 Gold Gloves, so he's in the Manny Machado. But Manny is certainly at least in my mind, from seeing him play every day, which the other managers don't, in the top 2.
Another base hit. Gomes just goes with it. Running to third and making it easily is Kipnis.
Yeah, they know that T.J. McFarland is not a power pitcher. We did see him against the Cardinals get it up to 93 miles per hour, but if he's going to end up in the middle of the plate and you have this approach, which is the inside-out approach, that's why Gomes' average is where it is at over 280. And Kipnis already with a stolen base flashes that speed. Hey, they're still in the race, as you know, Jim.
Right.
And, I mean, they're back, but we talked about it last night. I mean, they kind of meandered through the season last year, won their last 10 to win 92 games. So they have a lot of the same players. Yeah, they're missing Masterson and Cabrera were traded, but I'm just thinking, if you're a young player, I mean, this is an audition for the future. You've got a nice mix here of you're pitching very well. We told you about the last 5 games. The starters have given up 3 earned runs, and they carry that into the 6th game. Carrasco pitching that well. They got a lot of guys that like winning, and the Orioles can certainly tell you about that. They've learned that under Buck Showalter since 2011.
Well, they really play well at home, as you pointed out earlier. 36 and 23 at home.
Well, they're almost a run more than they give up at home, and that's how you have that. And then on the road, they score the same amount of runs, but the ERA goes up actually to a little bit over 4 runs a game. There's a big differential at home.
Tough night for Ubaldo in his return to Cleveland. Inconsistencies of his season continue. Oh, 2 the count. And a swing and a miss. He got him. So Walter's down on strikes and no further damage. So Ubaldo, 4 1/3, 6 earned runs. Here are Honda do-ups. Scope, Markakis, and Lowe. The Birds come to bat, down by 6. As the series finale, our coverage on Masson begins at 12:30 with those extra presented by Dodge, and then game coverage at 1 o'clock on Masson and WJZ. We've got all the access you need right here on Masson.
So you got 2 hard throwers. Again, Salazar up and down. Gosman, former #1 draft choice, having a chance again to start. So I don't know what the temperature's going to be, but it'll be a lot warmer with the kind of fastball, and they call that quick baseball terminology, gas that they're going to throw out there tomorrow night. And it looks like, unless the Orioles rally, that they're going to need, tomorrow's going to be a must-game win.
Yep.
As they play game number 3 on this 9-game road trip. So came in 9-15 against the American League Central.
Here's Jonathan Scope. Carrasco gets another strike.
Yeah, he's just throwing that get me over slider, and kind of throws it at your front hip, and hitters give up on it.
Weak fly ball to right field. Dickerson is there. And 1 away and 2 away. Scope is 0 for 2. Well, your favorite birds are back with their favorite dogs and cats. It's the 2015 Orioles Pet Calendar. All the proceeds from this brand new 16-month calendar benefit Orioles Reach and Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. Pick up your calendar today before they sell out. Visit Orioles.com/pet calendar or grab a copy at your next visit to Oriole Park or the official Orioles team store in York, Pennsylvania. There's Nick posing. And here's Nick at the plate.
Of course, if you actually talk to Nick, he would say, I was just kneeling and my dogs were posing.
Yeah.
Because Nick doesn't pose.
He was cooperating with the photo
exactly.
shoot. Nick 1 out of 2 extends his hitting streak to 8 in a row.
This Carrasco kind of is living proof of when you get pitchers, he's 27, and the Tommy John surgery, missed all of 2012. If you get guys with power arms, and then you can work on their heads and their mechanics and whatever, sometimes it can be very advantageous to your organization. You know, we're going to play the Cubs. I'm kind of doing some of my preamble work, and their last 4 draft choices have all been hitters. where most teams go after pitchers. They just feel like it's very hard to get guys that can really hit and develop your young guys. And if you have good pitching coaches, Mickey Callaway's done a terrific job. The Orioles, of course, now their pitching is so much better this year with Dave Wallace and Don Chitty than it has been the last couple of years. But this guy's got it, plus stuff, and then he gets a big lead.
Look at a good hack there, 3-2.
See, but that's if you wanted to compare, say, Ubaldo right there at 90-91, it's a double. 96, you have a good swing, but you foul it off because of velocity and movement, even though he has to throw a strike because of the scoreboard. And that's what happens when you have plus stuff and you can command it. And that's what they're trying to do with this kid.
Towards the middle, there's Ramirez. There's smooth hands there, and 2 men down.
They hit it well, but again, good alignment. Well, the other thing is that Carrasco, and a lot of it, I mean, he can't, he lead off base hit, he gets a double play to get out of the first, they get him 3 runs. He hasn't walked anybody. So he's pitched the way you're supposed to when you get presented 3 runs early.
And he's retired 11 in a row.
Here's my stuff. I'm going to mix them up. Combs has done a terrific job behind the plate mixing them up.
David Lowe to center field. Back on it is Michael Bourne. And in the big part of the ballpark, he has it for the out. So the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 3rd straight inning. 12 in a row retired by Carrasco. The first and then another in the 5th on a beautiful night in Cleveland. And as promised earlier in the game, here's our AT&T's fan photo. A little cutie at the ballpark. Looks like it's up on the club level.
Plenty of bangles on her right wrist. P.J. McFarland on for his 2nd inning in relief of Ubaldo Jimenez.
He will go to work on Zach Walters, then Chris Dickerson.
Well, what he's able to do, and as you mentioned, this is his 8th appearance since the All-Star break, runs in 4, but he can give you length. And that's what you're looking for here. Certainly capable of, again, when you play on the road, you don't have to pitch the bottom of the 9th if you're not winning. So certainly capable of actually getting him through this ball game.
Nick Hundley with Buck on the bench. Hundley will probably catch tomorrow.
Yeah, day game after a night game. And Joseph the last 2 nights. Hundley did come in when the pitch ran for Caleb Joseph last night.
Walters fouls it off.
So they know he's a good fastball hitter. Single up the middle home run last night. The only run off Wei and Chen. The only run, and 2 of the 4 hits off Wei.
Now back just below us.
Yeah, he's a hacker. He can swing.
One of 3 switch hitters in the lineup. Terry Francona emptied his bench. The 4 bench players tonight, all right-handed batters. So if you could bat left-handed and you were active, you were in there tonight. One and 2 as he doesn't chase. Well, the Oriole fans look a bit dejected. Bill Hagy hat on there. And a swing and a miss. So there goes Walters and 1 away.
They had a couple of pitches to hit, fouled them off, and then the sinker at 92 down and away. Which certainly get young hitters out right on the quarter. That's what TJ can do. He can make some pitches. He's one of those guys, if you're going to miss, he wants to miss down, not up.
Here is Chris Dickerson.
Of course, he'll be right from the Chicago area, so he'll be pretty much home for a week. The Orioles playing the White Sox and then the Cubs.
He lives in Orland Park, Illinois. I know he's a big Bears and Blackhawks fan in hockey. Probably likes the Bulls as well. Indians drafted him in the 4th round in 2007. Dickerson takes low, 2-1. And he was with the Indians through the 2012 season, all of it in the minor leagues.
Yeah, that was a ball that looked like it moved at the last minute. Caleb Joseph did not actually frame it very well. Otherwise, it probably would have been a strike. TJ looked in.
Foul ball.
And if you're left-handed, the dreaded 2-seam fastball right underneath your hands. Almost impossible to do anything with. So he runs the ball in on him, and watch this little slider down in the left.
Dickerson doubled leading off in the 5th to get that rally going.
Yeah, that really got him back on another 2-seamer. Certainly works.
Scope gets his man, so back-to-back outs. And 2 down here in the 6th inning. You can follow every Orioles game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, the free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download at the App Store or visit Orioles.com today. Here is Michael Bourne back off the DL last night. Did not get in the game, starting tonight. Where Francona wants to be cautious with his hamstring.
Yeah, he said he's going to play tonight and then see how he feels tomorrow. He was here yesterday. He was actually active yesterday. He strained it last year, and that's why he did not steal 40 bases. He had 22 steals and had it operated on in October. And he strained it again early in the year.
Before the game, Buck was asked about his rotation. And after Gausman tomorrow, only the first 2 games in Chicago he has listed starters. Bud Norris and Chris Tillman. You know, Wednesday would be on normal rest, Wei and Chen's turn. But as we saw in there's Bud, he'll pitch the first game in Chicago. As we saw Chen last night getting the extra rest when the rain out in the day off, Buck left Tillman on turn and moved Chen back. He kind of alluded to, well, let's see how it goes. And one of the things he said was, let's first see how we get through tonight. Now, Ubaldo did not give him a long outing, so maybe that will affect what he does when he gets to Chicago.
If you go back to 2012, guys were yo-yos up and down because they had options. Now, there's not a whole lot of guys that have options. Miguel Gonzalez has pitched very well, as Buck talked about. But he had options, so he was sent out. They had 6 starters. And there's a nice slider right there to get out of the inning. So the spot will thicken as we get into Chicago.
We go to the 7th, 6-0 Indians.
Walks and then 100 miles per hour off the bat by Santana, his 21st home run, right into the hedges to make it 3-0. And then after Dickerson doubles and Ramirez gets him in, hanging curveball, Brantley hits his career high 18th home run, make it 6-0. Ubaldo Jimenez will leave. So again, couldn't do. The Indians again 5th best scoring team in the American League. You know, Bourne walks and scores. I mean, right through the lineup. Only Chisenhall and Walters with the offers tonight. Those are your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. So CC Lee up in the bullpen. Carrasco now pitching into the 7th inning. Of course, he went 5 innings his last start. Had not been a starter going all the way back to late April.
There's Brad Brock in the Orioles pen. Adam has twice hit ground balls to short. One was a double play. That ball's cued and eventually handled by Carrasco with a lot of backspin.
Well, there's a perfect example. You know, again, when he's had such a good slider, and he throws it in a fastball count. Adam hits it off the end of the bat. Look at that pitch count, 74. So not only, I mean, he's mixed them up. Hadn't thrown a lot of off speeds, and got some early strikeouts on the split changeup. But he's really made a lot of quality pitches and very efficient in getting outs. And then the other part of it is his offense did a great job of giving him an early cushion so he could sit back and relax.
Nelson Cruz has an infield hit on a swinging bunt. He's also flied out to right. Well, the Orioles scored 1 run in 11 innings last night, and they have no runs in 6 innings tonight. So 1 run in 17 innings in this series. Slides away from the swing, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, sinker in, slider away. One of those scouting report type of at bat for Nelson Cruz. How do you want to get Nelson Cruz out? Run the ball in on him, try to get him out with breaking stuff down and out of the zone.
Cruz cannot believe the call of Ron Colton. You rarely see Nelson express displeasure like that.
Well, this is a combination of a guy making a lot of good pitches, getting some calls at breaking ball. I mean, at least we have it as a strike. He thinks it's outside. But again, look at Gomes. It almost looked like he took the ball off the plate. Usually you're trying to bring it back, and Nelson says, I thought it was away.
Strike one to Chris Davis, who is 0 for 2.
But still throwing 96 here in the 7th.
Chris is just 7 for his last 47. That's covering the month of August, and he has 22 strikeouts this month. Right into the shift, and there's Kipnis, and he throws out Davis, and the inning ends. So a 3 down inning. 15 in a row retired by Carlos Carrasco. Is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Well, it's been all Indians, 6-0 Tribe. Orioles held to just 3 base hits. Ubaldo Jimenez charged with all 6 of those runs at just 4 1/3. T.J. McFarland gave the O's an inning and 2/3. And Jim, here's Brad Brock, who's been pitching lights out.
He really has. Hard thrower, nice little slider, great breaking ball. One of those kind of under the radar trades. Devin Jones goes to San Diego. The Royals get Brad Brock. I mean, they did a nice job of calming down the windup. Again, power on. 3 pitches that really, when he's got his command, and that's the only thing that really kind of bothers him sometimes. You maybe walk more people, but that's kind of calmed down. 3+ pitches. So he's done a great job for him. I mean, it really solidifies the bullpen.
Jose Ramirez will lead off, and there's a strike.
I mean, when you think of Tommy Hunter and then Darren O'Day, and then you got Brad Brock, and then you got Britton as a closer. There you go against the Yankees.
And that's his last appearance, so he is well rested. This is a
Well, that's why he's pitching. I mean, it's not a typical game that he would pitch in. But they'll let him pitch an inning, and maybe somebody else will get a little work.
Always maneuvering.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things. Buck was talking the other day before we got on the plane to come to Cleveland. He said, listen, I trust my pitching coaches. I tell him, he said, I don't really know that much about pitching. What I know is what I see. Are they getting them out or not? So I rely on my guys. So right here, I'm sure Dave Wallace, they have a meeting. They talk about what we need to do. There's 95. And he goes, well, this is what we need to do. Dom Cheedy, of course, runs the bullpen. So they plan, who's got the rest, who needs to get a little bit of work. If you're ahead, you can be pretty predictable. But right here, this is, yeah, we're going to get them out here. And that's an important thing here, because when you come in trailing by 6, it's mentally more difficult than if you were trying to keep a lead. So there's Don Cheedy. We're going to get guys ready not only for tonight but for tomorrow. And get the off day on Thursday, so everything is planned out. Doesn't always go according to the plans, but
Michael Brantley fouls it off Caleb Joseph. Second time tonight that's happened.
Well, you saw what happened when you throw a breaking ball to Michael Brantley and you don't get it where you want it. Right here, this is what, 94, 95 miles per hour.
Oh, it hit him on the shoulder.
Yeah, right off the shoulder pad. Giving him plenty of time to recover. He really cared about him and give him an ice bag.
Brantley homered his last at bat, his 18th on the year. Swings through 94.
Yeah, on his fist.
Now Brock has 6 consecutive scoreless appearances, and he's worked 8 1/3 innings in those games. And how about this? Over his last 17 games, he's 4-0 out of the pen with an ERA of 1. 3 runs in 27 innings. Oh, 2 on Brantley. Bring it slow.
Yeah, there's the changeup, and he dives. Really good movement. I know you like him because not only is he pitching well, but he's from New Jersey. Puts him right up there on the list.
Line to left, hangs for low. And David has it for the out, and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Time now for our Lexus of Towson drive of the game as Carlos Santana comes up, and here's what he did in the first.
Yeah, look at him go up and get this high fastball.
Hits it into the shrubbery in center field for a 3-run home run. Drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com.
Yeah, the dreaded 3-run home run.
He is 2 for 2 plus a walk on the night. He takes ball 1.
Well, we saw him when he was struggling. I mean, he was walking when they came into Baltimore in May, but last year hit over 20 home runs and hit almost 270. Drove in a lot of runs, and he's hitting. Call it the interstates when you're under 200 with the eyes. Did that for April and May. The hitting instructor Ty Van Berkel, he said, I said, so how did he get out of the slump? He said, well, his idea was to swing harder. We tried to actually maybe to get him on the back off. He said, just try to hit more home runs, and eventually he got back to where he is now. I mean, well over 300, both June and July, 7 and 8 home runs. He had 15 home runs in those 2 months. Change up. Tough inning for Caleb Joseph.
One and 2 the count on Santana. And he fouls it off to protect the outside corner. Carlos Santana is a valuable man for Francona and the Indians. Came up as a catcher. This year they've used him at third. He's been playing a lot of first. Plus the emergence of Yan Gomes behind the plate. They can move Santana. And it gives them the switch hitter. Gomes plays every day now. He's their starting catcher. And Santana goes down on strikes in a very strong 3 up, 3 down 7th inning for Brad Brock. We'll head to the 8th, 6-0 Indians.
Without a win all the way back to 2011, trying to win for the second straight, and he was the second straight time, and he was marvelous tonight. You know, overpowering fastball. What do you retire 16 in a row, Jim? Something like that. And again, not a lot of strikeouts, 5, but didn't walk anybody. Early lead, and really pitched well. So he will lead. 5 shutout innings up in New York, 7 here. CC Lee out of Taiwan, and another guy that, you know, 93, 94 miles per hour. So he comes on, and he's pitched well. Again, this is one of the better bullpens, second best bullpen. Only Seattle with a better one. 211 with runners on base, and then 174 with runners in scoring position. And then if he does come in, which is not the case with inherited runners, none have scored. 0 for 14. Done a nice job up and down with the Indians this year.
Would have been nice if he got in the game last night with Wei Yin Chen pitching, both from Taiwan.
Well, it would probably been nicer because that meant the Orioles probably scored some runs, which was not the case. They only scored 1 in 11 innings last night. So they have now gone, what, 18 innings with 1 run here in Cleveland?
1 run. And the base hit by Hardy, who's at the plate, and he takes high. There's Wei Yin looking on. And very interested watching his fellow countrymen work.
Maybe not as smooth as Wei Yin. Wei Yin has that nice and easy windup. Ball explodes out of his hands.
And there's a strike fastball. JJ's got a 4-game hitting streak going. Tommy Hunter now getting loose.
So he'll get his inning in after Brock got his. Another one, yeah. Another power arm with a slider to back it up.
Listed at 5'11", 190. Broken ball low. The Cagadone getting loose, one of the 3 left-handers in that 8-man bullpen.
Another guy's with a mid to maybe a little harder fastball, 95, 96.
Outside. And JJ works the count full. Orioles need base runners and lots of them.
Well, you'd like to make Terry Francona at least have to make some pitching changes.
Right.
That means you're getting on the board. Otherwise, he'll just sequence his way through this game, and it's a jam shot.
And the other way, Kipnis is able to get there. He gets Hardy, 1 away.
Well, you can see where CC Lee is pretty deceptive. I mean, power arm, a lot of movement, kind of gets under it. The Orioles, after winning the first 2 games against the Cardinals, they faced Lance Lynn, and everybody was talking about the arm angle. And they got under it a little bit, but was able to move the ball around. And, of course, he was a starting pitcher. And of course, they would get 11 runs and 17 hits that day.
And Lynn seems to be one of those guys that he gets whatever he needs. If he needs to keep you to 2, he seems to be able to do it. If they get him a bunch of runs, he can pitch to contact. Flaherty is 0 for 2 and 1 for his last 16.
There's the breaking ball for a strike. Yeah, that 1 for 16 obviously would like to hit better. Got that 1 hit last night. As you mentioned earlier, Jim, hit 1 right on the nose. Maybe the Orioles might have gotten something going in the second inning if that ball gets into center field, but Kipnis caught it and got the double play. Got double plays in the first and the second inning for Carrasco. And you go back and again it's 6 runs ago, but you get the leadoff batter Markakis on, couldn't move him over. Jones hits a double play. Leadoff batter Cruz on the infield hit. Flaherty hits a double play. Joseph leads off the double. Strike out, fly out, fly out. Couldn't move the runners. Certainly not much offense tonight.
Check swing, he didn't go. Orioles have struck out 5 times in this game, and they have not drawn a walk. 16 in a row have been retired by the Cleveland pitcher. Carrasco, 7 scoreless innings. Santana gave them the 3-0 lead in the first, and then they got 3 more in the sixth. Wayans, wow. Flaherty works the count full 3-2, as did J.J. Hardy. And chopped to first. Santana backs up to play the hop, slips, but flips it to Lee. And 2 down.
And maybe not ideal to go 3-2 on everybody, but when he does, he's made 2 good pitches.
27,881 the attendance here tonight, as they will enjoy the fireworks and laser show following the game, and the Indians have already provided some fireworks for them.
Yep. Well, anytime you don't score and you only have 3 base hits and your pitcher gives up a 3 and a 2-run home run, things aren't going to look too good.
Caleb Joseph has doubled. He has also struck out.
Yeah, when you're hitting the 8th inning and your lineup is only hitting for the 3rd time, it's not a good offensive barometer, other than telling you the wrong news.
Now backing out of play, so it's 0-2. Well, Caleb, his bat coming around. He is 11 for 31 in his last 9 games.
With power.
It's a 355 clip for Caleb in his last 9 games. High fly ball to shallow center. Bourne will move in on it. And he is there, and the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 5th consecutive inning. 18 straight have been retired by the Indians. Routine to the most specialized eye care. LifeBridge Health's Krieger Eye Institute handles it all. Call 410-601-2020 for the Krieger Eye Institute. Well, tomorrow the finale here in Cleveland. 1 o'clock first pitch. Masson and WJZ as well. Then it's off to Chicago for a week. First 3 against the White Sox. Night games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The Orioles have a day off Thursday, and then they'll be at Wrigley Field for the afternoon game, 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday the first of 3 straight day games against the Cubs next weekend.
Well, Tommy Hunter comes in. Boy, is he pitching well, as has the whole bullpen. I mean, look at their relief bullpen in the month of July. It was 234. Starters were 329. So, and this is one of the reasons they had such a good month of July and into the early games of August. So again, the closer earlier in the game being very comfortable now doing what he did last year. I mean, the number's not as glowing as far as last year righties only hit him in 140. Lefties, all the home runs he gave up were 9 were against left-handers, so that number's come down, and the righties have kind of leveled off. But using all his pitches, not throwing very many cut fastballs. He was talking about the other day, maybe the last cutter he threw was back in May.
Ball 1 to Jason Kipnis. Well, he's put together 3 consecutive scoreless appearances. Kipnis single in the first inning, was left stranded. 3 2/3 innings in his last 3 appearances, and in his last 6 games, Jim, he's allowed just 1 run.
Oh, he's been real good, and for a long time. And I mean, he was kind of anointed the closer because of the Jim Johnson trade in the offseason. Again, they weren't pretty. I mean, they were effective early on, but didn't have any clean innings. And then you have to subjugate your ego when they go in another direction, which was Zach Britton. And he's done that.
Yep. So 3-1 on Kipnis. Gomes and Chisenhall due to follow. Kipnis ready to throw the bat, and it was called a strike. Let's see. No, we know why.
Well, why change now if you're on Culpa?
So Hardy up the middle. Oh, a tough out. And JJ won't get it.
Yeah, unless you catch it, and if it comes up, which it did. This guy runs too well, ball's away, so he's coming out of the box with almost full speed. And he's right here, and he can run. It would be an error, especially if you're a 2-time Gold Glover.
And it's JJ's 11th error on the year. That was a tough one.
And what JJ, not only the error, but when you've been around the game like him, you're thinking, okay, Tommy Hunter's in there, yes, to shut down the Indians, but he's also, we don't want to have him have a lot of pitches.
Long run for Markakis, and he runs out of room. It's back in the crowd.
The last thing you want for one of your setup guys is to have to throw 25, 30 pitches. And if you're a shortstop and you make an error, you just hope that won't be the case. Tommy more of a fly ball pitcher, so sometimes it's hard for him to get the double play ball. And then, of course, Gomes has had another good night. As for Yan Gomes, I mean, his work, yes, he's 1 for 3, but excellent job behind the plate. In fact, of the last 2 nights, somebody's calling those pitches. And
Oriole pitching has struck out 10. 3 walks, all by Ubaldo, the starter. Gomes moved out of the way of that pitch, and it hit the corner. Sliced the other way again. So you're expecting the fastball, and then you get the all-speed pitch, and your swing is all messed up. But he did get a piece of it.
yeah, because you're hitting off 97. you talked about Jim Presley talking about hitting. He preaches you look away and react in, as you were talking about, but it's all off the fastball.
Just did get a piece.
Yeah. I just think most breaking balls, I mean, Tommy Hunter, I mean, his curveball is a slider, whatever, slurve, whatever you want to call it, it's about 83. And he's hit 100, I think, up in Boston this year, but yeah, somewhere 96 to 97. Certainly in the mid-90s. So you're not hitting off of 83, you're hitting off of 95, 96, and then hope that he gets a ball up.
There's the double play ball. JJ to scope and back to first with that strong arm. So the error is erased.
Yeah, JJ's, you can't erase the 11th error for him, but certainly the pitch count will be concised here in the 8th. And it is tailor-made. All you got to do is catch it. And the Orioles do, and then Scope, what an arm. Yeah, he could really use second base to really kind of keep the runners, ward them off in a sense, because he can take a step towards left center field and still has enough on his throws to turn the double play as well as anybody.
Or he can look right at him and say, "You want this?"
Yeah, well, I saw, you know, in my rookie year, Louis Aparicio, somebody didn't slide.
Base it the other way off the bat at Chisenhall.
We were in Kansas City, and he just kind of hit him right in the helmet, right about where the C is. Didn't mean to, of course. Just in case you think about standing up, because, you know, last thing infielders want to do is get spiked by runners that don't get down.
Here's Zach Walters, the DH. He is 0 for 3. Inside corner called strike. Pagadon is ready. He's now just watching the action from center field. Wow. You rarely see that from Tommy.
Well, that's a curveball, and
83.
Yeah, well, that's. It has a hook. He used to throw a lot of cutters. Now he doesn't. It's the influence of Dave Wallace and Don Cheadle. Turns it over a little bit, so he's got a little bit more movement when he wants it.
Lined into the crowd.
Yeah, we saw Zach Walters do that last night, trying to win the game off Darren O'Day. He got a slider up and ripped it down the line, but hooked it foul. Well, his reputation as a power hitter precedes him, so they'll pitch to him. And most young hitters, if they have their druthers, want it out over the plate. Right there's 99.
Walters is the only Indian not to reach base in this game.
And he's doing everything in his power to try to join the party here in the 8th inning.
7 of the 9 have hits, and Bourne walked leading off in the bottom of the first, so he's been on base. And Walters 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
So Detroit's ahead of the Mariners. Kansas City's losing. Certainly the Indians are checking out this scoreboard. And you're still in the wild card race.
And the foul down the line. Well, the position they're in, and you're right, I mean, they're in it. The problem is how many teams are ahead of them, and that's where it becomes difficult, because everybody can't lose on the same night. You know, for instance, Seattle's playing Detroit, so one of them is going to win.
Yeah, but they get to play Detroit, so they're probably, you know, figuring, okay, the Mariners won 9 out of 11. They've been hot as of late, so let's hope that they lose, and then maybe we can take care of the Tigers ourselves. And then once you've gotten to the playoffs by winning your last 10 games, which is what they did last year, you're saying, you know what, they know the formula. We just got to keep winning.
Popped it up. Flaherty coming over, and he runs out of room and runs into the railing.
Yeah, didn't know where it was, and then all of a sudden hit it. I'll get you an idea. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. You're trying to make this play. You're right there, boom. And I think he tripped a little bit. And the lower body kind of collapsing a little bit, and maybe right off the ribs. Still feeling the rib cage a little bit. See right there, it hits him, even though it's padded.
And finally he got him. Joseph will tag him out, so an error hit and one left. We'll head to the ninth. Birds come to bat, trailing by 6. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By visitannapolis.org. Find it here. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. Nighttime sky over Cleveland. Left-handed pitcher Nick Hagedorn comes on.
Yeah, fastball slider pitcher, and once again acquired back in 2009. Victor Martinez went from the Indians up to the Red Sox. They get Justin Masterson, Brian Price, right-handed pitcher. Hagedorn, hard-throwing lefty. He's been up and down 4 times this year. Look at those numbers: 18 strikeouts, and then very low batting averages. Dominated lefties. And again, the second best bullpen behind the Mariners in the American League.
2.91 ERA coming in. 27 wins. And Cord Phelps is going to come up and pinch hit for Jonathan Schoop. So the former Cleveland Indian, now with the Orioles, getting an at-bat. This is his first appearance with the Birds. Switch hitter. There's a strike.
Hagedorn right over the top. It's 95, 96, hard slider.
There is major league numbers. Bounce towards third. There's a big hop for Chisenhall. And one away as Phelps is retired.
Well, that's 19 in a row. Am I correct?
Yep. The last Oriole to reach was Caleb Joseph, who led off the third inning with a double. There's Nick Markakis. He has one of the 3 hits. Line to center field. There's a base hit for Nick, so he's got a 2-hit game. There's his 46th multi-hit game.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter, does it? Righties, lefties.
Oh, no. Hard throwers, junk ballers.
You could shot put it up there. And he'd hit it somewhere.
His back control is just incredible. And you know what, Jim? I think there's Terry Francona's coming out.
Wait a minute. No. Oh, Terry.
And he's going to make a change.
There we go.
So the pinch hitter was introduced, Steve Pearce, so he's going to go to a righty.
Only run the Orioles got last night. J.J. Hardy with a single to center. Tie it up. The Orioles would lose in 11, so he comes in tonight. Cutter fastball. A little bit of a slider. Pretty much his primary 2 pitches. Done a nice job. Agadon, good numbers against lefties. Also good numbers against righties. So the minute they announced that Steve Pearce is going to pinch hit, they bring in Shaw. Not outstanding numbers as far as inherited runners, but the Orioles still, they do have 2 outs to work with. And even if you don't come back and win it, you just broke that skein of 19 straight on being retired by the base hit by Markakis. And Steve Pearce certainly would like to get in on the action. There's the cutter. 93, 94. We saw it last night. Delvin Young got a base hit off him. Hit it the other way. And then the Hardy hit to center field, tied it.
High fly ball to right center field. Dickerson on the run, way out there, and he makes the catch against the wall. Takes an extra base hit away from Pearce.
No, we saw that in Baltimore. Wind blowing out that way, so the ball, the minute it gets up in the air, it takes off, and so does Chris Dickerson. He's a plus defender, and you're going to see right here. I mean, skies at the deep right field, and he's going back, and the wind actually blows it almost over his right shoulder, but he adjusts with the body, never loses focus, runs it down, and then turns it around and heaves it back to first, thinking maybe we could double up Nick Markakis to end the game. And when you're winning, you go, nice pitch, Brian Shaw.
I got my man.
Yep.
There's Adam Jones, who is 0 for 3 and has not hit the ball out of the infield.
Well, he really hasn't got anything to hit. A lot of breaking balls. Carrasco staying down in the count, running the ball in on him and then down and away. You do not want to leave balls in the middle of the plate to Adam Jones. And it's so interesting when you see the teams the Orioles have faced. 17-8, I think, since the All-Star break.
17-9.
17-9, yeah. You know, they've seen this kind of pitching, and there's one that's hittable, but he fouls down and goes down. I mean, big swing. Jerry Francona laughing. I mean, why not? It's been a frustrating night for the offense. I mean, this is a hanging slider. This is a home run pitch.
And he was trying to hit it to Ackley.
Well, the only good news is that that's the way Manny Machado hurt his knee. But he aired it out on it. Certainly a very hittable pitch, but it's kind of mirrors what's gone on all night long. Even when you get a couple pitches to hit, you miss them.
Orioles down to their last strike. Birds are not away from losing back-to-back games for the first time since June 28th and 29th. They had gone 39 consecutive games without losing 2 in a row, and they've dropped 2 in a row as Jones strikes out to end it. So the Orioles are shut out on 4 hits, and in 20 innings in this series, they have scored just 1 run. So a tough start to the 9-game road trip for Buck Showalter. Final score here in Cleveland as the Indians got to Ubaldo Jimenez. Cleveland 9, Cleveland 6, and the Orioles 9.